Hi there, welcome to BoxPred. In this video I'm going to be giving my post-fight thoughts on the fight earlier this morning between Maidana and Erik Morales, where Maidana won by a majority decision. It was a close fight and a somewhat controversial decision amongst quite a lot of people, but I'm not going to be really concerned with the decision in this video. First of all, I'd just like to give a shout out to a channel, boxing channel, Hatman TV. It's on my, if you check on my homepage, it's one of my other channels there, so go check that out, Hatman TV. What I like about Hatman TV is that his videos are thought-provoking, so when I watch them I feel it sparks debate and it makes me think about things, and that's what I look for really when I'm watching people talking about boxing. It's good to have somebody who can make you think, along different lines sometimes, or you can agree with. So go and check Hatman TV out. It's a good channel. First of all, I'll just talk about Erik Morales in this. Very well done to him. I think I can safely say that in my prediction video, where I did predict a mid to late round stoppage for Maidana, I didn't totally overlook Erik Morales. I did say that I think Morales has shown in his previous fights where he's been on his comeback that he is able to use what he has to good effect. And I thought that Erik Morales would have a good chance on the inside, particularly with body shots. And the thing I said was that the only problem there is that I thought Maidana's power would get to him if he had to go too close to Maidana on the inside, and then later on those shots would catch up with him. Didn't turn out that way. The great thing that Morales did was he used his experience and what he has to do both. I feel, although he spent a lot of time on the inside, fantastic inside fighter, he also moved on the outside sometimes and was doing what Amir Khan did to Maidana, was throwing a few flurries. And that's what I've been saying. These fighters need to stand their ground, and they need to show the opponent that they are a force to be reckoned with as well. And that's what Morales showed Maidana earlier this morning in their fight. From here, I think Morales has he could do what Bernard Hopkins does, and that's sort of use his experience to be a nuisance, just to be a complete nuisance to these younger fighters, or these fighters who are supposedly in their prime. And he can cause a lot of trouble for a lot of people, for quite a few fighters in the divisions in and around that weight class. I'm not necessarily going to say he would beat those fighters like Amir Khan, Timothy Bradley, but I feel that he could be a bit of a nuisance to them and other fighters, perhaps, if he just uses his experience as he did earlier this morning against Maidana. So I think he can sort of tailor make each game plan to his opponent, and if he does that, he always going to have a shot in these fights. Moving on to Maidana, I think he was exposed in this fight to a certain extent. I think his stamina was lacking, and moving into the latter part of the fight, I think he punched himself out, and I think we've seen that in him before. And I don't care about excuses of under preparing. If you're going to be fighting at this level, you need to prepare properly. I just think he struggled against a guy who was showing him, was sometimes schooling him in the art of boxing, like how to fight inside. I think Maidana, as I was saying with the Amir Khan fight, I always favour pure boxers. I think Maidana is sometimes just purely a headhunter, and he's inaccurate and he's wild. And I was saying that when he was fighting Amir Khan, and people were saying, Maidana, we want him to win, he's a warrior. That's not my personal preference. I prefer guys who are more of a pure boxer, who have a clever boxing brain. I just don't feel Maidana has that. And I don't want to rip into Maidana too much, but I'm just trying to point out here that if he's to move on in this division, he really needs to start improving in key areas. I think before this fight, I really fancied him. I thought he would be chomping at the bit for a rematch with Amir Khan, Right now, I think Amir Khan, I fancy Amir Khan in a rematch with Marcus Maidana, which I'll go into in a bit. I also feel that Timothy Bradley would have a field day against Marcus Maidana. I still, however, do feel that Marcus Maidana should be looking at Devon Alexander. I said it before, I'll say it again, because I feel that Devon Alexander doesn't have a good jab. He has a weak jab, in my opinion, so he can't keep Maidana off him. And I also feel he has a weakness in defence backing up, which you need to be good backing up if you're going to fight Marcus Maidana. We saw Morales great backing up this morning, in my opinion. On the inside backing up, he was able to protect himself. He had decent reactions, and he was able to come back. I don't think Devon Alexander really has that ability. I think he thrives against fighters that are going to allow him to come onto them more than moving backwards. So I think he's the best option now for Marcus Maidana. But my final point, and this is the biggest point I took from this fight, was this: Marcus Maidana is a counterpuncher's dream. Counterpuncher's dream. He is slow. His hand speed. If this morning's anything to go by, he's rather slow. He's wild, and I feel if he was up against a top counterpuncher, the likes of Juan Manuel Marquez should be looking at this and thinking, I'll have a piece of that, because I think Marcus Maidana gets stopped by a good counterpuncher, top counterpuncher, who has better reflexes than an Adrian Morales, who can counterpunch deadly counterpunches swiftly. Morales was dodging shots yesterday. Seemed like they're coming in slow motion from Maidana. Wild swings, and I think if Amir Khan was to have a rematch, Freddie Roach would be that's the game plan. Counterpunch him. Because if you can counterpunch and you've got any decent power, I think you stop Maidana right now. And I think that's something Maidana really needs to look at. He needs to stop swinging wildly. He needs to get that back to boxing basics and sort his technique out. So I know I've been harsh on Marcus Maidana here, but if he's supposed to be top guy in the division, he needs to sort these things out. But apart from that, I think full credit goes to Erik Morales. It wasn't just the fact that Maidana was poor earlier this morning. It was the fact that Erik Morales was better than most people thought he'd be, and I think he would have given other fighters to similar problems. So that's my prediction. Thank you again for watching my video, and please subscribe if you do like my channel. This is BoxPred, and I'm out.